makes me wanna lose myself in your arms. There's something in your voice that makes my heart beat fast. Hope this feeling lasts the rest of my life. If you knew how lonely my life has been, and how long I've been so alone. And if you knew I wanted someone to come along and change my life the way you've done. It feels like home to me. It feels like home to me. It feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. It feels like home to me. It feels like home to me. It feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Na 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 na. I miss you so bad. I don't forget you. Oh, it's so sad. I hope you can hear me. I remember it clearly. The day you slipped away was the day I found it won't be the same.
There's two things I know for sure. She was sent here from heaven, and she's daddy's little girl. As I drop to my knees by her bed at night, she talks to Jesus, and I close my eyes, and I thank God for all of the joy in my life. Oh, but most of all, for butterfly kisses after bedtime prayer, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. Walk beside the pony, Daddy, it's my first ride. I know the cake looks funny, Daddy, but I sure tried. Oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve a hug every morning and butterfly kisses at night. Please rise.
protected in the blink of an eye. I never got to say goodbye. Like a shooting star flying across the room, so fast, so far. You were gone.
One day you'll make everything new, Jesus. One day you will bind every wound. The former things shall all pass away, no more tears. One day you'll make sense of it all, Jesus. One day every question resolved, and every anxious thought left behind, no more fear. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and we'll shout the victory. One day we will see face to face Jesus. Is there a greater vision of grace? In a moment we shall be changed on that day. One day we will be free indeed, Jesus. One day all the struggle will cease. Oh, and we will see your glory revealed on that day. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and we'll shout the victory. One day we will see face to face Jesus. Is there a greater vision of grace? And in a moment we shall be changed. Yes, in a moment we shall be changed. There the former things will all pass away, and every anxious thought left behind on that day. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and we'll shout the victory.
On the behalf of the family, we'd like to thank you for coming out and honoring Julianna on this day. Julianna Ray Allen of Harker Heights, Texas, passed away unexpectedly on April 16, 2021, at the age of 18. Julianna was born on January 9, 2003 in Topeka, Kansas. She is survived by her parents, Steve Allen Jr. and his fiancee, Dr. Christy Shank, and Jolie Arancibia and Robert Odell, sisters Megan Cook and husband David Cook and their son Dwayne, and Lauren Tilton and Nathan Herbert and their children Leah and Mason. Her significant other, Logan Todd, paternal grandparents Steve and Julia Allen, maternal grandparents Deborah and Mark Prennup and Paul Walschmidt, aunt and uncle Josh and Ashley Tibbetts and their children Addison and Britton, and many other family members and friends. Julianna is preceded in death by her grandparents Cecil and Sunshine Spicer and Alex and Alice Arancibia. Julianna was a senior at Harker Heights High School. In her short life, she was known for her diligence, perseverance, artistic ability, down-to-earth nature, and helpfulness. Growing up, Julianna would say her hero was her daddy, and they loved to eat crab legs together. As a young child, Julianna dreamed of being a fireman, but more recently, she had decided to go to a community college to pursue a trade. I remember how Julianna would come into our youth room pretty much every Sunday morning or Wednesday night, and the first thing that she would do, she would spot me and she would come up and she would, for the most part, demand her hug. And if you knew her well, that's what she was waiting for, and when she got it, she would sit down and she would immediately strike up a conversation. And I love those moments. I remember those moments. But the most important conversation that I think the two of us ever had happened at camp in 2015. We talked about the importance of having a relationship with Jesus Christ, of believing that He and He alone was the only way that you could be saved from your sins. And Julianna made that decision sometime during that summer to follow Him. And in that moment, that decision to follow Christ changed her life eternally. At the age of 12, Julianna was baptized at First Baptist Church of Killeen. She enjoyed volunteering her time at church, attending Sunday school, and going to church camp. Growing up, Julianna loved having sleepovers with her grandma and aunt, going to amusement parks, playing with Barbie dolls, and doing arts and crafts. In recent years, Julianna was fond of shopping, baking and cooking, and going to Starbucks for her favorite drinks. Her favorite foods were the custards at Freddy's, Jersey Mike's sandwiches, sweet tea, and Diet Dr. Pepper. Julianna absolutely loved to work and be self-sufficient, as there was not a lazy bone in her body. She put the punctual in punctuality and hated to be late to anything. Julianna was amazingly talented in so many areas, including hair, makeup, decorating, drawing, organizing, to name a few. She was extremely caring and nurturing at heart. She took great joy at being an aunt to her nephew, Dwayne, and was a natural with children in general. For the past few years, Julianna loved spending time with her significant other, Logan, who all would agree was the love of her life, and she his. They had plans to start a life together after she graduated. Julianna and Logan enjoyed hiking, sitting by the fire pit, and playing board/card games. Their favorite songs were Young and Beautiful and Just the Two of Us. When she wasn't with Logan, her time was often spent with her paternal grandparents, whom she called Mama and Dada. Mama and Julianna loved to shop and go to lunch together. Julianna often sat on Dada's lap, and they loved to pick on each other. Her sisters Megan and Laura were also a huge part of her life. The three sisters texted and FaceTime on a daily basis. Second to Logan, her dog Bella was her best friend. Julianna and Bella loved to go to Freddy's and get an ice cream cup for Bella. Julianna would just love being around family and friends. Julianna will always be remembered for her perfect smile, pure soul, sweet angelic voice, infectious laugh, stubbornness, kindness toward others, especially animals and children, her goofy and meticulous nature, and her love for life. Julianna was a ray of sunshine and brought so much love and joy in our lives. She will continue to stay with us through all of our wonderful memories of her. I know heaven is a beautiful place because they have you.
in a better place, I've heard 1,000 times. And at least 1,000 times I've rejoiced for you. But the reason why I'm broken, the reason why I cry, is how long must I wait to be with you? I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. Help me, Lord, 'cause I don't understand your ways. The reason why I wonder if I'll ever know. But even if you showed me, the hurt would be the same. 'Cause I'm still here, so far away from home. I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. In Christ, there are no goodbyes. And in Christ, there is no end. So I'll hold on to Jesus with all that I have, to see you again, to see you again. And I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? Won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? Won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. Memories surround me, but sadness has found me. I'd do anything for more time. Never before has someone meant more, and I can't get you out of my mind. There is so much that I don't understand, but I know you're dancing with the angels, walking in new life. Dancing with the angels, heaven fills your eyes. Now that you're dancing with the angels. You had love for your family, love for all people, love for the Father and Son. Your heart will be heard in your unspoken words through generations to come. There's so much that I don't understand, but I know you're dancing with the angels, walking in new life. Yeah, you're dancing with the angels, heaven fills your eyes.
So much of us are driven by perspective. And today, by perspective, we could say what a tragic loss. Or we could say what a life. I don't know if you ever look at a falling star, you don't look at it very long. But the bright ones are remembered. And I just want to tell you that the family's intention today was to celebrate a beautiful life and to take us beyond a place near the cemetery to a place of fondness. Watching that video, I just think, how could anybody have a smile that big without having a bigger head? I mean, I would have to have two heads to fit that smile on my face, but she's just spectacular in that smile. And you know, to get a smile that big, it has to come from your heart. You can't fake that smile. We all know how to fake a smile. You can't fake that smile. And the joy that was in her heart. I remind you that as a father, I know kids are born with different dispositions, but a lot of them, what grows in their heart is what we plant in their heart. And I want to compliment mom and dad and grandparents and sisters, friends, for putting good things in her heart that came back out through her face. We are going to have some reflections and remembrances, and I've got a couple that have been given to me to share, and I've told the family that if they can't get through theirs, I'll read them for them. But Christy wrote, I was fortunate enough to come into Julianna's life when she had turned 8 years old, after her daddy, Steve, and I got back together, having been high school sweethearts. The first time I met Julianna, all I could see was this big, beautiful smile in this precious little girl. Over the past 10 and a half years, I have many wonderful memories of Julianna. As a little girl, she'd always hug me and tell me I smelled pretty, so I'd spray my perfume on her so we would both smell pretty together. One of my favorite memories, Julianna, was of her being so excited about her senior prom. She asked if I could do her hair for her, since that was one of the things we'd done together when she was an 8-year-old. After I finished her first hair braid, I looked at it and I said, I'm going to redo your braid, because there's no way I'm going to send my girl to prom with a jacked up looking braid. We couldn't stop laughing. We spent the next 2 hours braiding and curling her hair to make sure that it looked absolutely perfect and beautiful for her special night. I remember her smiling and laughing and talking the entire time, with her dog Bella by her feet, of course. By the time we were done with her hair, she looked absolutely beautiful. I could not believe that before my eyes, what was once a precious 8-year-old girl had grown up to a beautiful young woman. These are the memories that I will always treasure. I'm grateful for the 10 years I got to have Julianna as a daughter. I wish I could hear her laugh again. I wish I had more time. Until I see you again, beautiful angel. Love always, Christy. Eric shared, from the first time we held you in our arms until the last time we held you in our arms, you were part of our family. We loved and will always love you like our daughter. You never took a bad photo. Your smile would light up any room, and you were always so animated with your silly faces and funny antics. If you weren't making us laugh, I was making you laugh, or you would roll your eyes at all my silly jokes. You were so filled with excitement and joy to go on new adventures, from riding four-wheelers in the mud to chasing butterflies in the flower garden. You're such a curious and headstrong little girl. We'll miss you more than words can convey. We're just feeling so blessed that we had you as part of our lives. The pain we're feeling from your tragic loss May it never dull, because you'll always remain a bright light in our hearts. Eric. Raul Castitos, and I'm sure I butchered that. I'm sorry, Raul. Would you come share a thought? There we go. Look in the wrong spot. Megan and Lauren, y'all get yours ready, okay? You fight back those tears. You'll be next.
This is a letter to Julianna from her daddy. You will always be my baby girl. I will miss you, your beautiful face, your smile, your unwavering spirit, and so much more. So many unspoken words, so many unsaid I love yous, and so many regrets. You will always be in my heart, and I will love you forever, my sweet girl. Love always, Daddy. I just have a few more words. To my best friend, Steve. This is just a letter to the family of Julianna Allen. We all remember how much that we all care about one another, and most especially about Julianna Allen. Sometimes we all get together to make sense of our lives. Today, there will not be any doubt that we love Julianna more than words can describe. With a heavy heart, I must succumb to the much greater needs of the Lord, and that goes without question. I hope that I can do right by God Almighty, who is at the side of Julianna's mother and father, Jolie, and Stevie's family and friends. Words of expression are hard to come by today, but Julianna deserves the best of all of us, so that is why I'm saying anything today. Today, words escape me as I read this story of the life of Julianna Allen, but I do know that she will want us to remember the trueness of her grace, her spirit, and endless love for everyone that we were fortunate enough to know about her. I think that I speak for all that we are blessed to have been in her life and are deeply moved of her passing. But I wouldn't doubt that Julianna is more resilient than she is when the Lord needed her to help in heaven. We all raised her as our own. Julianna is very special to me, to many, and will never be forgotten, and I'm sure that we all agree. I will never forget the picture on the wall that looked almost like her daddy, a portrait we all know so well. So many of us are fighting tears back for Julianna's loss. And we can't find the words to express our own sorrows. The overwhelming amount of pain is as visible to us as it seems. That is all not going to change anytime soon. Only with the my thoughts are that Julianna would not want anyone to feel heartbroken, but to help one another as she has always done for us. In the end, heroes will always be family. just going to skip to the end. And to my friend Steve Allen, to your family, we're all very, very sorry. Jolie, very, very sorry. And I guess last but not least, I just wanted to say that yesterday I had a million complaints, but today I have none.
Thank you. If all we do is stand in the presence of family and cry, it has its own beauty. And thank you, Raul. So Megan and Lauren, y'all gonna give this a shot? All right, then.
Growing up with Julianna when we were younger consisted of hair pulling, constant pranks, and always fighting for her to be on my side versus Megan. We were all very wild children, always fighting or getting into mischief. I ended up having to move to Florida 10 years ago, limiting our contact to mainly phone calls and occasional visits whenever we were able. Regardless of the distance, we all remained super close. Although Julianna being the youngest of us three, I often found her caring for us and making sure we were okay. Every time she would visit me, she would insist she clean my house because she knew how mentally exhausting it was for me, how fast my kids could destroy the house in one day. She also had to rearrange a room or two for me because she knew how unorganized I tend to be. She also did the same for my mom, who struggles with multiple sclerosis. She was always trying to help others out. She was more than my sister. She was the rock that held me together when I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I pray to be half the person she was. One of the last summers, Julianna was in Florida with me. She kept mentioning some guy named Logan, who later turned into the love of her life. For a while, I think it potentially made me and Megan jealous because Julianna started giving us less of her time, which we were never used to. Looking back, I couldn't be more thankful she spent time with someone she truly loved and had the best times. Logan, you'll forever be our family. And I can't thank you enough for loving Julianna the way you did. Megan, it's us against this world, and I promise I'll forever be here for you and our family. It's always been us three girls, and nothing will change that. I hope I can be half the aunt Julianna was to Dwayne. Julianna, I'll forever miss you every second of every day, and I'll forever wish you were still here with me. I don't know if I'll ever understand why God had to take you so soon, but I know you're always watching over us. It'll always be us three girls to the end. It's not goodbye. It's just to see you later, and let me tell you, I can't wait for that day when we're all reunited again, causing the most trouble. Miss you forever, and love you always.
I'm gonna say now there's some very bad jokes in here. I'm not very good with talking in front of people or telling stories. That was one of the many things Julianna and I had in common. Julianna would jump around when telling you a story to the point where you'd be lost. With that being said, bear with me, please. Julianna was not only my sister, but my best friend. She was everything that I'm not. She was free, careless, blissful, and courageous, just to name of the few great traits she had. She always encouraged me just to be that. One time, I bought these really weird bell bottoms. They were like a cheetah print. Some of you may have seen them on Facebook. But I showed some of my friends the picture of me wearing them, and most of them told me to return them and to not wear them. But Julianna encouraged me to wear them. She told me that she thought I looked great and to wear them if I wanted to wear them. And I did end up wearing them. I wore them to the concert, and she gave me, with Julianna just saying that to me, it gave me so much confidence, and I felt beautiful that night. Jumping into another story now. Julianna used to get so mad at me when I would mother her. She would tell me to stop it. You're not my mom. I just couldn't help. I felt the need to try to guide her the best I could. She would come talk to me about her high school problems, and I always would mother her. It never failed. She helped me so much when I had Dwayne. She stayed with me the first couple nights. She was beyond helpful. She did everything for me, but she wouldn't change diapers in the beginning. When she finally did end up changing diapers, she put them on backwards a couple times. I'm gonna miss Julianna running up to my car and stealing Dwayne from my arms and completely ignoring that I was there. I'm gonna miss those days where all I had to do was call her and tell her I'm having a bad day, can you come over? She'd be at my house within an hour, arms open to take Dwayne and be the best TT that she could be. Don't let me fool you, Julianna and I fought almost daily over shoes, clothes, makeup, her not answering my FaceTime call, and so much more. We were both so headstrong and so stubborn. I wonder where we got it from. Some of our we were so stubborn that some of our fights would last weeks. But we loved each other no matter the fight, we always bounced back. When Julianna and Logan first got together, I was so excited to see her full of love and happiness. With time, I grew jealousy. Someone was taking my best friend away from me. I'm now so happy that she spent every waking moment with you. I know she was so happy. Thank you, Logan. And I never really got to finish the rest of it. I didn't know how I was supposed to finish it, but yeah. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Lorinda asked if she could share a thought, and come please share.
Julianna, you, Megan, and Lauren have always been part of our family. Get through this. And we love you all unconditionally and always will. We will continue to remember all of the fun times we shared, and we'll think of you and miss you every day. Our hearts are crying, and we are lost without you. We have shared so many personal memories that we will cherish till our last breath. Today, I would like to take a pause to remember the things that make you uniquely extra special to me. From day one, we claimed you as our daughter in love, along with Lauren and Megan, and you are so adorable. You always said yes to us whisking you away at the drop of a hat. If I wanted to pick you up to build a birdhouse, you were there. If I wanted to go swimming, you were there. If we wanted to go four-wheeling, you were in. And if we wanted to go on a roller coaster, you were like, pick me up now. If we wanted to have a barbecue, you asked if you could help cook. And karaoke, forget about it. You hogged the mic, and you were the star of the party. You had gravity, and everyone wanted to be around you. I loved when you would secretly pull me to the side and dish about your sisters. Don't worry, I won't tell them. Or talk about school drama. Our bond was glued tightly, and you confided your best and worst secrets whenever we could find a quiet spot away from everyone's listening ears. I loved how you begged me to bake with me and make up fun crafting projects. You didn't even care that I don't actually cook. I only bake, and you were always there to be my little helper with whatever apron you decided to put on that day. I loved how you wanted to have a Nerf gun fight 1 minute, and then you wanted me to do your hair the next. You were my roller coaster buddy, my water baby, my adventurous daughter. Whenever we did something fun as a family, we always invited you girls along for the trip, and you were always the first one to have a bag packed and was ready to go. One of my favorite memories is all of us in the truck singing loudly to the Royal song by Lord. You loved how Eric would sing at the top of his lungs to make you laugh, and you sang as loudly as you could to annoy Megan, who, for some reason, thought the other cars going 65 miles per hour could see and hear her, so she hid her face in her hair. From then on, whenever we were in the car with Eric, we had to play that song for you. Even after it became old and played out, you still humored us. I loved when you girls stayed the night and we kicked the boys out to stay at your house so we could do girl things and they could play video games, but we always made them some type of treat in the process. You made sure there was baking involved as often as you could. It excited me when you and Megan wanted to attend the Geek Fest with Maverick and Lucas, since it was absolutely their favorite event of the year. We had fun looking at all the costumes, shopping, and looking at artwork. I think there was even a science experiment that was being recorded on television that one of you got to help with. I remember putting you into the machine that emulated a tornado, and you had so much fun, you laughed the entire time. We had a lot of fun together, but you knew that you could come to us with your problems too. We spent many long hours talking about various subjects that were important to you, and we gave you our best advice. Sometimes you didn't like what I had to say because it sounded too mommy-ish, and you weren't going to do that. But I loved how you tried to incorporate some of my ideas, and you would call to tell me the outcomes. You were not afraid to ask for help, even if you knew asking Eric would lead to a long-winded explanation, because you knew he had your best interest at heart. I shouldn't have been surprised, but I couldn't believe it when you started watching The Walking Dead. You would get so worked up during every episode and vowed not to watch any more. But every week you couldn't help yourself. You loved how it was something you and your dad had in common, and you didn't want to miss it. I remembered when Dance Dance Revolution first came out, and we had a blast finding different songs to try out and then took our dance moves to the arcade. You were so much better than me, but I tried my darndest to keep up. You had so many people who cared about you and loved you, and we all gave you our 2 cents whenever we thought it was necessary. I would get flashbacks of being a teenager and chuckled inside when you would roll your eyes at things told to you either by your dad, mama, or dada, because you knew they were right and loved them for caring and wanting the best for you, but didn't want them to know you agreed. I won't tell them you said they were right. You talked about your life choices, your regrets, and your dreams with me. You were so multifaceted that it was difficult for you to decide on an exact career path, because you were so many things that you wanted to accomplish in life, and you weren't too scared to try for them all. You knew we had your back with whatever you decided, and we were your biggest cheerleaders. You sat on my lap for movies, you cuddled with me as often as you could, and you gave the best hugs that went on forever. On our last day together, you agreed to drive me to Bahama Bucks in exchange for gas money and a rainbow snow cone, but not before showing me your prom dress. You were so excited and absolutely loved your dress. We talked about prom plans and perfume, and you took the scenic route so we could have a little extra time together. When it was time for us to leave, you kept coming back for more hugs, saying, "I have to go to bed because I have school in the morning, but I really don't want to say goodbye because I know it will be a long time before I see you again." It was our last night in Texas just a few weeks ago. I'm forever grateful for the extra hugs and love you gave us, because we didn't know it would be our last goodbye. I know you knew just how much we loved you, and I take comfort in knowing that you did not leave this earth feeling anything but love and support from all those who knew you. We are so lucky to have been part of your story, and we hope that we have impacted your life as you have ours. We will be planting a tree in our yard as a living tribute to your beautiful and generous spirit, an eternal memory that will continue to grow in your honor. You have been our light on earth, and now you are our angel in heaven. You have always been and will forever be our little Julianna. Love you, baby girl. Miss Mommy, Eric, Maverick, and Lucas. To Steve. I wanted to let you know that on our last day together, Julianna personally expressed to me while sitting in her car how much she loved you and wanted to spend more time with you. She said it was difficult for her to admit her faults and didn't know how to talk with you about it. But just know that she 1000% loved you so much, and I believe that she said that to me so that I could relay that message to you for her. To Megan. Your sister had mad love for you no matter what either of you said about each other. I know you both loved and cared for one another regardless of the sisterly squabbles. One of the last things she said to me about you was how you said her prom dress looked like something out of The Great Gatsby. I know you feel like you might have been teasing, but she told me she wished it was her school's prom theme because she would have made it work. And you know she said that with a little bit of sass. To Lauren, Julianna absolutely loved visiting with you in Florida and had nothing but great things to say about her niece and nephew. I remember when she came back after having met Leah for the first time. She kept going on and on about how good of a baby she was and that she was so excited to have spent that time with you guys. I know that even though you don't see each other in person as often as you would have liked, she felt extremely connected with you. That sisterly bond is like no other. To Jolie, my heart hurts knowing that you lost your baby too soon. Our prayers are with you and Lauren and the rest of the family as you travel back to your homes. Know that we love your girls and will do anything for them. The words "I miss you" don't really say enough because we have all been struggling every day without her. Just know that she will never be forgotten and that we will carry her in our hearts forever.
I don't usually carry a pink frilly Bible. We got a thought. Bring it, brother. Y'all do this better than I do.
I was born 18 years ago, but little did I know my life would actually begin with you. I had plans that were in place, but never set in stone until you came along. This chaotic world seemed at peace when we were together. April 16th, we and I lost the most beautiful person to have ever walked into my life. From the first time we met in 10th grade, Miss Lundy's class, to being hired at Freddy's together, you being fired, and me getting, and me quitting 3 minutes later. We did everything Bonnie and Clyde style. I never would have expected you would be my best friend, let alone my soulmate. Something about you always just drew me to you. We never had a dull moment when we were together. From climbing silos, sunset chasing, singing on the top of our lungs, or doing absolutely nothing. I'm truly blessed to have been on the receiving end of your love, the love people search for lifetimes. What we had was irreplaceable, and I will cherish it forever. Julianna, you were and will forever be the love of my life. You showed me love. You showed me what pure happiness feels like. You were my drive. You were my shining light in my darkest times, and will forever stay that way. The night before, you had mentioned in one of our deep, random conversations that if you were to pass, you would want to come back as a butterfly. I hike to our spot every morning, and the butterflies lead the way. The bright blue sky peeks through the trees, and the blue jays sing their tune, and it all reminds me of you and your beauty. I try and find peace in anything that reminds me of you as I see you everywhere. Thank you for making the past year the most enjoyable, exciting, beautiful adventure of my life. Words can't describe how lost I feel. The days move slowly while the nights don't move at all. I don't know what the future holds for me, but I know I will get through this crazy world. For you will always be with me. Fly high, my beautiful angel, until we meet again, forever and always.
Well done. The family shared Julianna's Bible with me. And the first thing, of course, you open a book, you look inside the front cover, and there's her name, her phone number, and if gets lost. I love the fact that that is not grammatically correct. God doesn't grade our grammar, okay? So if it gets lost, meaning she valued this, get this back to me. There's some passages that are marked, and she put her name in the Bible, she put her phone number there, instructions if it gets lost. And I want to think for a moment about God putting his name on Julianna's heart. The reason I was thinking about that was I was reading one of these passages that she had marked in her Bible. In Ephesians, she had marked chapter 2, beginning with verse 8. For it is by grace you've been saved through faith. It's not from yourselves, it's a gift from God. Not by works, so anyone can brag. For we're God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. You think just a minute about God's handiwork. Yes, he makes the mountains, the sun rises, a beautiful rainbow. And he made a beautiful, precious person. And if God valued her, and I know he did, he didn't ever want her to be lost. So he put his name in her heart. Jeremiah 31 says, For this is a covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Lord. I will put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts. And I'll be their God, and they will be my people. God made her. He put his name in her heart. If she ever got lost, she knew how to find her way home. And I got to tell you, young people do get lost. We get lost in circumstances. We get lost in emotion. We get lost when our priorities get juggled around. But she always seemed to have that foundation. She always seemed to know how to find her way home. That same Bible, a few pages over, she had another place marked. And it tells us how to live. Colossians chapter 3. Verse 1 through 4 says, Since then you've been raised with Christ, set your heart on things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. Then Christ, who is your life, appears. Then you'll also appear with him in glory. As I read this passage, it's almost cryptic for Julianna to be telling us, set your minds on another level. See, death is not the end for the believer. And so what we have known of this beautiful treasure is not in Florida. That would be okay. Now she's in heaven. There was a thief that was dying with Christ on the cross next door. And the thief said to Jesus, remember me in your kingdom. And Jesus said to that thief, today you'll be with me in paradise. They both died that day. And that tells me a little bit of the timeliness of your daughter, your sister, your granddaughter, your lovely girlfriend. That word's too shallow, isn't it? There's just not the right word. We keep looking for the right word. Your love. It tells me about the timeliness of her being in paradise. And we're stuck right now in the already. But she's now in the not yet. Imagine with me, if you would, 1,000 years from now. 1,000 years from now. Nobody on planet Earth is going to remember the pastor's name. 1,000 years from now, my grandkids, they won't even know me. I'll be the great something, right? 1,000 years from now, for the believers to be together in heaven, and this day is only a small part of the story of our life or our eternity. I was talking to Steve earlier, and I said, where'd you go to high school? And he said, Clean High School. For grown-ups, talk about where we went to high school. It's just a glimpse of our identity. It's just a little bitty part of us. When we're there, it was a big deal, but now, not so big deal. How we died will be a part of our eternal story, but it won't be the story. Our life is the story. And I got to tell you, this girl lived big. Stretched the boundaries. She lived like she was alive. And the saddest thing, I think, for a believer is not that we die and wake up in heaven, but that we're here on earth sleepwalking. Dead while we're still alive. The already, life, and for this one, her death. The not yet. Can we saddle up? The not yet, the resurrection. This day she's with him in paradise, and we've got an appointment, each of us, not with the grim reaper, but with the resurrection. A reunion with Christ and all the believers who's gone before. The disciples were confused about the death of Christ. He was telling them, I'm about to go away. And they thought he was going someplace on earth. They were confused. John chapter 14. Jesus says, don't let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you, I'm going to prepare a place for you. If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you may also be where I am. You know the way to the place where I'm going. Thomas said, Lord, how do we know where you're going? And so how can we know the way? And Jesus answered, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. I read that passage of Jesus speaking to his believers, but I have hope in it as well because my heart is troubled. But I do believe in God. And I believe in Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus said, not only do I have a work here on earth, but I have a work in heaven. I'm building a mansion or a house of many rooms. And I'm preparing that place for you. All right. God's prepared a place for me. What happens next? In a tragic moment, the car spun out of control. In a tragic moment, her body would not hold life anymore. Well, what are we going to do about that? It tells me right here that he says, I will come back and take you to be with me. I know you wish you could hold her right now, but Jesus is holding her. If lost, call God, for he knows where you belong. We belong to our Lord who made us. And if we trust in him in our moment of need, when our earth suit is expired, he will come and take us to be with him. one of her favorite phrases was, "I've got this." It's a phrase of confidence, isn't it? It's a good thing to remember. On a day when circumstances may be greater than you, to remember how she would approach it. She'd say, "I got this." In the face of death, I got to tell you today, none of us have this, but Jesus is saying, "Hey, I got this." Bigger than a broken body. Hey, I've got this. Bigger than a broken heart. Hey, I've got this. And right now, if I'm reading my script properly, Ashley is going to read a poem reading titled, "Mama, I Got This." Right? Bring it. You can't. All right, I will. All right. I told them all I'd be the parachute. It all started her junior year of high school when Julianna took her first job working at Freddy's. In addition to going to school face to face, she would work 3 to 4 times a week at the restaurant until 11 or midnight. I was concerned she was overdoing it and encouraged her to cut back on her hours. Her response was, "Mama, I got this." Julianna went to Florida during the summer of 2019. She ended up staying up close to 2 months to help take care of her mother who has multiple sclerosis. I questioned if she could handle being gone that long, and her response was, "Mama, I got this." A few months ago, Julianna and I redecorated the guest room of the house. She wanted to hang curtains in the room as part of the redecorating process. I remembered that I had some spare curtains lying around that we could use, although they were a bit dusty, so they needed to be washed first. Unfortunately, the curtains ended up ripping in some parts after going through the wash machine. I was preparing to buy new curtains, but she took one look at them and said, "Mama, I got this." I came back after a little while to find that she'd hung them perfectly in a way that the rips weren't visible. For Valentine's Day this year, Logan got Julianna a giant life-size teddy bear. She decided the teddy bear belonged in bed with her 74-pound Australian healer. I immediately questioned this sleeping arrangement and asked, "Doesn't your bed get crowded at night?" To which she told me, "Mama, I got this." One of the biggest dreams of Julianna has always been to walk across the stage at her high school graduation. Throughout her school years, I closely monitored her grades and attendance in order to get her there. When I would notice she was behind on some assignment or her grades had dropped, I would offer reminders and words of encouragement. Her response every time was, "Mama, I got this." A few months ago, Julianna asked me to take her to get her hair cut. I told her I couldn't take her then, but I could the next day. I was shocked when I got to the house the following day to find that she had already cut 12 inches off herself. I told her it actually looked really cute and that she had done a good job. And she said, "Mama, I got this." As some of you know, a few weeks ago, Julianna started her new job at Shipley's Donuts. Julianna decided to take the earliest shift possible because she wanted to have time left in the day to complete schoolwork and spend time with Logan. I was worried about her driving to work at 4 a.m. in the morning because it was still dark outside, and she reassured me, "Mama, I got this." This school year, Julianna's main focus was going to prom and graduating high school. After a year of virtual school in our new COVID world, she was looking forward to having those treasured high school experiences. On April 10th, Julianna and Logan attended their senior prom. She later told me she felt like a princess and described that night as perfect. Although I'm so heartbroken your final wish of graduation did not come true, I'm so thankful one of your last memories was your princess night with Logan. Losing you has left such a hole in my heart, but I'm so grateful the Lord shared you with us for 18 years. You were scheduled to be picking up your cap and gown today, but instead you picked up your angel wings. My only comfort now is this. I can only imagine you're in heaven saying, Mama, I got this.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence, or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I will do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I can only imagine. 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 You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.